Part 201. I secretly got married to a super boss. Author, Dance Lightly. Chapter 2001. Chapter 2001. It doesn't look like he's asking for help. I will do whatever you ask me to do. Very good, then you wait for me to arrange it. Asterisk. On the way, the old lady called and asked Moyesi and Mian to go back. Said that he had something to tell them. After answering the phone, Moyesi asked Uncle Lee to change the route. Mian looked at Moyesi a little uneasily. It was Grandma who called. What did she say? Did Grandma know about the Mo family and Gong family? It should be. Moyesi pondered for a moment and said, it's such a big fuss. There's no way Grandma doesn't know about it. I should be asked to go back and ask what's going on. Hearing what he said, Mian became more and more uneasy. If the old lady knew that the cause was her, would she become a beauty disaster in the eyes of the old lady? After all, the Gong family and the Mo family have always been fine. It is indeed because of her that the situation is like this. Mian still cares about what the old lady thinks of her. Then if Grandma knows, it's because of me. She said worriedly. Are you afraid that Grandma will blame you for this? Well, I don't want Grandma to dislike me or hate me. I told you, Grandma is not the kind of person you think. If she knows the reason, she won't say anything. Besides, I will think of another reason to tell Grandma so that they won't blame you. On the head. Anyway, don't worry, I will solve this matter. Okay. With Moyesi's assurance, Mian felt much more at ease. Asterisk. Second young master, second young madam. When he arrived at Mazai, Uncle John came out to greet him. How is Grandma's health lately? Moyesi led Mian towards the hall. Uncle John followed the two of them and said with a smile, the old lady is doing well recently. She eats well and sleeps well. The doctor checked her yesterday and said that the old lady has gained several pounds. Moyesi had a smile on his face. Really? That's good. You should pay more attention to taking care of the old lady. Yes, second young master, please rest assured. We will do our best to take good care of the old lady. Go into the hall. Old lady, madam, the second young master and the second young madam are back. The old lady and MRSMO were sitting in the hall. MRSMO looked unhappy. When she heard Uncle Zhang's voice, she raised her head and looked towards Mian. When she saw Mian, MRSMO's eyes were sharp for a few seconds. Grandma, Mom. Moyesi led Mian over and said with a smile, Grandma is worried about something and wants Mian and I to come back immediately. Is there anything going on at home? You kid, don't be so talkative. You have a good family, what could happen? The old lady glanced at Moyesi and said with a smile on her face, can't it be that Grandma misses you and wants to see you? Of course. Grandma, if you say a word, I will bring Mian back to see you right away, right? You kid, you know how to talk nonsense with me. The old lady looked cheerful when she saw her grandson and granddaughter-in-law coming back, and she seemed very happy. Mian was still a little uneasy. She was also worried that she would see the old lady with a cold face and an unhappy look when she came back. But the old lady didn't look angry at all, instead she had a smile on her face. This made her feel a little relieved. Looking at the old lady like this, she didn't look like she was going to challenge them. Grandma, Mom. End of this chapter. I secretly got married to a super boss. Author, Dance Lightly. Chapter 2002. Chapter 2002 ACI, what do you want to do? Mian was holding a bag in her hand. She took 2 boxes out of the bag and handed one of the boxes to the old lady. This is a little gift I brought back. You will like it if you like it. These gifts were bought by Mian in Y City. She thought that she would bring some gifts no matter what when she came back from other places. "Do you still have our gifts?" The old lady happily took the box and said, "You kid, come back as soon as you come back. What gifts do you have prepared?" Chiao Mian nodded and said in a soft voice, "It's not an expensive gift. I just saw some unique things when I was in Y City, so I bought some." "Grandma, don't dislike it?" "I don't mind it, I don't mind it. It's great if you have this intention." The old lady took the box and opened it with a smile. Chiao Mian did not buy any expensive gifts, because she felt that no matter how precious the gift was, the Mo family would not be short of it. So she bought some gifts that she thought were unique. What she bought for the old lady was an embroidered silk scarf with a few crepe myrtle flowers embroidered on it. Embroidered silk scarves are sold everywhere, they are nothing special. It's just that the embroidery work she bought is different from ordinary embroidery. The embroidery on it is so beautiful. "I also like this flower." The old lady was not unhappy because she only received a scarf that was not very valuable. On the contrary, she held the scarf as if she liked it very much. Mian, Grandma likes the gift you prepared for Grandma. You took the trouble." The old lady's attitude made Chiao Mian feel that all her previous worries were a bit villainous. "Grandma likes it." Chiao Mian handed another box to Mrsmo, her voice still soft. "Mom, this is a gift for you." Mrsmo raised her eyes with a faint expression, apparently not interested in her gift. But since Moyesi and the old lady were nearby, he still reached out and took it. After she took it, she handed it to the maid at the side. "Keep it." Having no intention of opening it and taking a look at it, Moyesi frowned. "Mom, why don't you open it and see what it is?" "No, let's look at it later." Moyesi frowned again, his face darkened a bit, and his thin lips moved, as if he wanted to say something. Chiao Mian gently tugged on his sleeve. "Mom said she would read it later, so let's read it later. The gift is for her, and she can read it whenever she wants." "Mom, I think we'd better get down to business." Mrsmo looked like she couldn't help it. She looked at Chiao Mian and her voice was a little cold. "ACI, your grandma asked you to come back because there is indeed something wrong. Your grandma and I have both seen the news, saying that you and the Gong family they broke up and withdrew all the cooperation between the Mo family and the Gong family. Is this true?" The expression on the old lady's face changed slightly at this time, and she looked at Moyesi. "ACI, is what your mother said true?" Moyesi had a calm expression on his face, smiled lightly, nodded and said, "Yes, it's true." The old lady was stunned for a moment, and her expression changed accordingly. Mrsmo reacted greatly and said, "I thought it was those unscrupulous media who were operating blindly again, but I didn't expect it to be true. ACI, what do you want to do? Our Mo family and Gong family have always been good. For so many years the cooperation has always been good. Why are you doing this now?" End of this chapter. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. I secretly got married to a super boss. Author, Dance Lightly. Chapter 2003. Chapter 2003. There is no smoke without smoke. Do you know how big the loss will be if you cancel the cooperation between the two companies? Of course I know. Moyesi still had a calm expression on his face and curled his lips. I know all the things you are considering. Mom, Grandma, I know how to handle the company's affairs, so you don't have to worry about it. ACI, do you know what you are doing? Mrsmo asked angrily. Of course I know. Since the company has been handed over to me now, it is my own business how to take care of it. Grandma, why do you worry about these things all day long? Are you still worried that I can't manage the company well? Don't you still know your grandson's ability? The old lady was silent for a while. ACI, Of course I know your abilities. Otherwise, your father wouldn't be able to trust you and hand over the company to you. But, isn't this incident a bit too sudden? Our two families have always been on good terms. Why is it so tense all of a sudden? You should tell us why. What else could it be for? MRSMO glanced at Xiao Mian coldly and said in a bad tone, I read on the news that it was caused by Mian. It was said that the demon king of the Gong family was interested in Mian because he was competing with ACI for Mian. Which led to such a thing. ACI, Mian, are you telling me the truth because of this? MRSMO's words are very targeted. I came here for Xiao Mian. Xiao Mian's face changed slightly, she opened her mouth and was about to speak when her hand was pinched by Mo Yesi. Mo Yesi squeezed her palm, raised his head, looked directly at MRSMO, and said in a calm voice, Mom, do you believe those things that the media blindly reported in order to gain eyeballs? I thought it was ridiculous that outsiders didn't understand, so they believed it? Rumors. Why are you starting to believe these nonsense rumors? MRSMO was stunned. Seeing her son defending Xiao Mian like this, she felt jealous. She was pregnant with her son for 10 months and gave birth to her son through hard work. But now I have married a daughter-in-law and forgotten my mother. MRSMO felt chilled and angry at the same time. There is no smoke without fire, she said with a cold face. If such a rumor comes out, it means that this matter may be true. Otherwise, why don't they spread other things but just this? ACI, I know you are defending you. Wife, you have to see what's going on. Everything you do now will affect the future development of the company. You can't follow your own temper. We, the Mo family and the Gong family have been friends for so many years. If you do this, how can we get along with each other in the future? How can you be so impulsive? Mo Yesi frowned, I told you, this matter has nothing to do with Mian. Mom, you don't believe what I say, why believe those rumors? The Mo family and the Gong family have a personal relationship, and the Mo family cancelled the relationship with the Gong family. The cooperation is for business reasons and has nothing to do with anything else. But MRSMO obviously didn't believe it and wanted to refute. That's enough, Wenpi, please stop talking. The old lady said in a deep voice, I believe ACI. He always has his own considerations in doing things, and he never lets us worry about anything. But Mom. Okay, you should trust your own son and daughter-in-law. But what about the relationship between the Mo family and the Gong family? MRSMO obviously refused to let it go. Wouldn't the two families become enemies in the future? End of this chapter. I secretly got married to a super boss. Author, Dance Lightly. Chapter 2004. Chapter 2004, If you cause any trouble, I can't forgive you. Just as the old lady was about to speak, she saw a maid coming over. Old lady, madam, the Shangguan family is here. The old lady was stunned, from the Shangguan family? What are they here for? Hearing that someone was coming to Shangguan's house, Mo Yesi narrowed his eyes and became colder. Invite people in quickly. The Mo family and the Shangguan family were not familiar with each other. One was in Yunqing and the other was in another city. But because of some occasions, we have met each other a few times, so we are considered acquaintances. The relationship is just a very general one. The Shangguan family is also a noble one, so the old lady spoke politely. After a while, I heard footsteps. There was also a delicate female voice, Dad, why do you have to let me come here? I told you, I have something to do later, I have an appointment with a friend. Shut up, a voice with a hint of anger scolded the girl who was speaking, you will apologize to me in a while. If you don't do this well, all your future pocket money will be deducted from you. Dad. I'm telling you to shut up. Behave yourself for a while. If you cause any trouble, I won't forgive you. Hearing the conversation coming from outside, the old lady frowned. Chiao Mian raised her head and looked out of the hall. After a while, she saw a man and woman walking in. She didn't know the man, but she knew the woman. That's Shang Guanxing. Shang Guanxing looked reluctant, as if she was being forced to do something. Although Chiao Mian had never seen the man beside her, she heard Shang Guanxing call Dad just now. This man must be Shang Guanxing's father. The two of them looked quite similar. Shang Guanhua walked in with Shang Guanqing. Shang Guanxing suddenly saw Chiao Mian sitting on the sofa. She was stunned, opened her eyes wide and said in surprise, Chiao Mian, why are you here? I saw Shang Guanhua's brows twitching fiercely. Ching Ching, you haven't seen the old lady and MRSMO yet. What did I tell you before I came here? How unbecoming are you shouting here? No, Dad. Shang Guanxing pointed at Chiao Mian and said with anger and surprise, you know, Brother Zili refused to agree to the marriage because of this vixen. She is a shameless woman who specializes in hooking up with other men. As soon as Shang Guanxing said these words, except for MRSMO who felt happy in her heart, the old lady and Mo Yesi both had dark faces. Especially Mo Yesi, his face was extremely gloomy. The old lady threw the cup of tea brought by the maid to the ground with a pop sound. Shang Guanxing was stunned for a moment by the sound of the teacup falling to the ground. She looked up and saw the old lady looking at her with a cold face and sharp eyes, and her heart skipped a beat. My throat seemed to be pinched by something, and I could no longer make a sound. Where did this wild girl come from? She speaks so freely. In my Mo family, you dare to talk about the young lady of my Mo family. The old lady knew Shang Guanhua, so she actually knew Shang Guanqing's identity. She said that deliberately. What, this vixen is the young lady of the Mo family? Are you mistaken? She is just a lowly actor. How could she be the young lady of the Mo family? Shang Guanxing had an expression of disbelief. She shouted excitedly, you must have made a mistake. Unbridled, the old lady's face darkened, and she immediately issued an eviction order. Uncle Zhang, ask someone to drive this unruly wild girl out immediately. End of this chapter. I secretly got married to a super boss. Author, Dance Lightly. Chapter 2005. Chapter 2005. I never meant anything like this. Old lady, please calm down. I am Shang Guanhua from the Shang Guan family, and this is my daughter Shang Guanqing. Seeing that the old lady was angry, Shang Guanhua scolded his spoiled daughter 1,000 times in his heart, turned around and said loudly. He slapped Shang Guanxing on the face. A pop sound. Shang Guanxing received the slap, and her face quickly became swollen. She covered her face in pain, raised her head, looked at Shang Guanhua in disbelief, her lips trembled and said, Dad, you hit me. You deserve a spanking. Shang Guanhua slapped his daughter on the face, which also hurt him, but he had to show his attitude to the old lady and other people in the Mo family. I never taught you to say these harsh words. If you're mean, where are your upbringing and etiquette? Did I say something wrong? Shang Guanxing got even more excited after receiving the slap. She is a fox. Shut up. Shang Guanhua's Hung was afraid that his daughter would say something she shouldn't have said again, so he slapped Shang Guanxing on the face again and said angrily, how did you talk to the young lady of the Mo family? You are so angry with me. Dad, you hit me again. Shang Guanxing couldn't believe that her father, who always doted on her, would slap her twice in succession. She felt aggrieved and sad. She turned her head and glared at Chiao Mian. I'm right, she was shameless in the first place. She was the one who seduced Brother Zili. Shang Guanxing didn't believe that Chiao Mian could be the young lady of the Mo family. She has been investigated before. The Chiao family is an ordinary family, at best they can be considered a nouveau riche. Chiao Mian's family background is not on the stage at all. Even if she gets a rich boyfriend, it's just to play with her. So Shang Guanqing didn't take Xiao Mian seriously at all. But she suddenly saw Xiao Mian appearing at the Mo family. The old lady of the Mahist family also said that she was the young lady of the Mahist family. This shocked Shang Guanqing. If Xiao Mian is the young lady of the Mo family, then her so-called boyfriend. Shang Guanqing suddenly thought that Xiao Mian had a boyfriend from a branch of the Mo family. Could it be that her boyfriend was not a branch of the Mo family, nor was he her boyfriend? Shang Guanqing opened her mouth and shut up like a vixen, and she was still scolding Xiao Mian, which made the old lady look extremely unhappy. Xiao Mian is now the young lady of the Mo family. Shang Guanqing scolded people like this, which means they did not take the Mahist family seriously and insulted the Mahist family wantonly. How can I bear this? Whether she did it because she didn't know the situation clearly, the old lady was already very disgusted with Shang Guanqing. The old lady looked amiable and had no temper. But that's the person who likes her. For someone like Shang Guanqing, the old lady is no longer amiable at all. The old man's face was very gloomy. He looked at Shang Guanqing with disgust in his eyes and said angrily, "Mr. Shang Guan, is this the tutor of your Shang Guan family? Your daughter has no education at all and has repeatedly insulted my grandson's wife. Who is your Shang Guan family? I think people from the Mo family are easy to bully." "No, old lady, please calm down, I have absolutely no intention of doing so." Shangguan, who saw the old lady's face looking so ugly, grabbed Shang Guanqing and stepped forward, saying hurriedly, "Old lady, I am taking you with me today. My daughter is here to apologize to MRSMO. There was a misunderstanding between my daughter and MRSMO, and some unpleasant things happened before." End of this chapter. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. I secretly got married to a super boss. Author, Dance Lightly. Chapter 2006. Chapter 2006, immediately issued an expulsion order. That's why I brought her here to apologize to MRSMO. Ching Ching, why don't you apologize to MRSMO quickly? Shangguan Hua pushed Shangguan King towards Xiao Mian. How can Shang Guanqing be willing to apologize? She was about to retort when she heard a cold voice, "No need. Mr. Shang Guan said he brought your daughter to apologize to me, but I think you brought your daughter here specifically to scold me again. It was okay to scold me on the set before, but now they come to scold me at home. Even if Mr. Shang Guan and Miss Shang Guan look down on me, they can't help but take my family seriously. It's okay if you slap me in the face, but slap my family in the face." Xiao Mianmian's voice became colder a little. "That won't work. Your daughter is talking nonsense and is like crazy. I suggest Mr. Shang Guan take your daughter to the hospital for a checkup immediately. If it's later, it may be too late." When Xiao Mian said this, the old lady was a little surprised at first, and then looked at her with admiration. "I thought that as a granddaughter-in-law, she looked delicate and soft, and must have a soft temper, so she would be easily bullied by others." Unexpectedly, judging from the way this matter was handled, she was a little surprised. The old lady felt very relieved. She is a granddaughter-in-law who likes to be soft, well-behaved, and cute, and makes people feel hurt just by looking at her. But the old lady hopes that her well-behaved granddaughter-in-law can still have some opinions and a temper, so that she can solve things at critical moments. After all, you have to be the master of the family in the future, and being too soft-tempered is not a good thing. Shang Guanhua and Shang Guanqing's expressions changed. "Uncle Zhang, give it away." Xiao Mian didn't care what the father and daughter were thinking at this time, and immediately issued an eviction order. Uncle Zhang was also very cooperative. He immediately stepped forward and said respectfully, "Yes, Madam Second Young Master." Mr. Shangguan, Miss Shangguan, our second young lady doesn't want to see you again. You can leave of your own volition. Although the Shangguan family is also a prominent family, this is in Yunchinj and the Mo family. Moreover, if you really think about it, the power of the Shangguan family cannot compare to that of the Mahist family. Otherwise, Shangguan Hua would not have brought Shangguan Qing to the Mo family to apologize because of repeated obstacles in business. But his plan to apologize was ruined by Shangguan Qing. Shangguan Hua came here because in the past 2 days, he found that whenever the Shangguan family went to discuss cooperation with anyone, they would immediately reject him as soon as they heard that they were from the Shangguan family. And no reason will be given for refusal, only that there is no intention to cooperate. Forget it if you live in a family or 2 families. But in the past few days, there have been more than a dozen like this. Shangguan Hua certainly knew that the situation was abnormal. He sent someone to investigate, and finally found out the reason. It turned out that no company in Yunchinj was willing to cooperate with the Shangguan family because someone had said hello. The person who said hello was Mo Yesi, the president of the Mo family. Mo family is the leader of Yunchinj. Naturally no one dares to offend. No one dared to go against Mo Yesi's greetings. After Shangguan Hua encountered difficulties in many places, he thought about it and felt that Mo Yesi was still angry at the Shangguan family because of the previous incident. That incident was caused by Shangguan Qing. That's why Shangguan Hua brought Shangguan Qing to the Mo family. Now, his goal has not been achieved, so how can he leave easily? End of this chapter. I secretly got married to a super boss. Author, Dance Lightly. Chapter 2007. Chapter 2007. But the previous lesson was obviously too light. Mr. Mo, I brought Ching Ching here this time because I really want her to apologize to your wife. Mr. Mo, Ching Ching is young and ignorant. I have already punished her before. I will punish her again when I get back. Mr. Mo and Madam Mo, please forgive her this time. Mo Yesi looked at Shangguan Hua coldly, young and ignorant? So you can insult my wife at will? No, Mr. Mo. Shangguan Hua, you'd better take good care of your daughter. Otherwise, someone will naturally help you to discipline her. However, if it were someone else to discipline her, I'm afraid she wouldn't be able to stand here properly. Mo Yesi. He glanced at Shangguan Qing. That look made Shangguan Qing feel like she was falling into a pool of ice. The cold air penetrated into her bones, and she couldn't help but tremble with the cold. The feeling of fear could not be suppressed and emerged. Shangguan Hua was also frozen by this look, looking at him with a somewhat stiff expression. Mr. Mo, what do you mean? Mo Yesi only looked at him coldly, and then told Uncle Zhang, Uncle Zhang, why are you still standing? Didn't you hear what MRS Gang said? Mr. Shangguan, Miss Shangguan, please. Uncle Zhang's tone was no longer as polite as before. He was a little more forceful and made a gesture of invitation. Say invite, which is no different from expelling a guest. Mr. Mo. Mr. Shangguan, please. Uncle Zhang didn't give Shangguan Hua another chance to speak. Just after he said the word please, a bodyguard came in from the outside and attacked Shangguan Hua and Shangguan Qingzi from the left and the right. Between. The meaning is already obvious. If they are still ignorant and don't leave on their own, let the bodyguards drive them away directly. Even if Shangguan Hua is no longer willing to leave, at this time, he cannot ignore his face and let the bodyguards of the Mo family kick him out. Mr. Mo, MRS Mo, I know you are still angry right now. I will definitely let Ching Ching make an apology to MRS Mo some other time. After Shangguan Hua finished speaking, he reached out and pulled Shangguan Qing's arm, suppressing his anger and said, Ching Ching, let's go. But Dad. Shangguan Qing looked at Jiao Mian with surprise, wondering why a humble actor suddenly became the second young wife of the Mo family. Walk. Shang Guanhua directly grabbed her arm and dragged her away forcefully. After a while, the hall returned to silence. Old lady, drink some tea to relieve the heat. Uncle Zhang took a cup of tea from a maid, bent down and handed it to the old lady, and slowly advised her in a harmonious voice, don't put yourself at risk for such a person. It's not worth it if your body is angry. I'll go say hello to the people below in a moment, and I won't let them in from now on. The old lady took the cup of tea and took a few sips. Listening to Uncle Zhang's soft persuasion from the side, the expression on her face slowly calmed down. But she was still angry. What the is that daughter of the Shangguan family? When she came to my Mo family, she dared to bully my granddaughter-in-law like that. Does she think our Mo family is easy to bully? Grandma, don't be angry, I have already taught them a lesson. Mo Yesie's eyes were half squinted, with a cold look in his eyes as he said, but the previous lesson was obviously too light. Chiao Mian felt particularly warm in her heart when she saw the old lady being so angry and defending herself so much. I thought that after hearing what Shang Guanqing said just now, the old lady would suspect that she and Gong Zili were really having an affair. End of this chapter. I secretly got married to a super boss. Author, Dance Lightly. Chapter 2008. Chapter 2008. I can't tolerate it. But the old lady still defended herself in her words. Chiao Mian feels that she is really lucky. Married to Mo Yesie, he takes good care of himself. The old lady loved and protected her so much. Even if she can't please everyone in the Mo family, it's enough for her. Grandma, don't worry, I won't let others bully me. If anyone bullies me, I will definitely fight back. Chiao Mian walked to the old lady, half crouched at her feet, raised her head and looked at the old lady, said softly, Uncle Zhang is right. Grandma, you must not be angry for someone who doesn't deserve it. If you are so angry that your body is broken, we will feel very sorry for you. Her obedient look made the old lady very fond of her. The old lady reached out and touched her head. Well, Grandma likes the way you handled it just now. As the young lady of my Mo family, I don't need to tolerate my temper in front of others, especially when others don't take you seriously. If you endure it, they will only think that the Mo family, are easy to bully. When it's time to show off to others, you have to show them the majesty of your young lady, the Mo family. Chiao Mian was still wondering whether it would be inappropriate to do what she just did. In case the Shangguan family and the Mo family have a good relationship, wouldn't her doing so affect the relationship between the two families? But the old lady actually praised her. This made Chiao Mian feel a lot more confident. At least if she encounters something similar in the future, she will know how to deal with it. Grandma, don't you blame me for driving away the guests. That's not a guest. We in the Mo family don't have such guests. Even if you didn't do this, Grandma would have wanted someone to drive them away. So you did a good job, and Grandma won't blame you. Snort. The originally cheerful atmosphere was ruined by the cold snort coming from the side. Mo said angrily from the side, Mom, didn't you hear what the daughter of the Shangguan family said just now? The old lady turned her head. Mo added, I said before that the rumors on the internet were all false. But now that people have come to visit me, I can't tell the truth. If there was no such thing, would people say those things? Even if those words do not sound good, they cannot be false. I don't expect that the wife ACI finds can be a virtuous lady from a famous family, but she has to keep herself clean at least and don't ruin the reputation of our Mo family. Mian, shouldn't you explain this matter to us? Mo turned her attention to Chiao Mian and her words were a bit sharp. Wenpei, what are you doing? The old lady frowned. Mom, I say these things because I am responsible for the Mo family and ASI. Mian is a C's wife now and a member of our Mo family. A married woman must pay attention to everything she says and does. I believe there is no smoke without fire. I want to know right now what happened to what Shangwen's daughter said. If that thing is true, I can't tolerate it. Chiao Mian stood up after being named. Mom, there is nothing ambiguous between me and Gong Zili. Shang Guanqing decided that there was something between us because she saw some scandals between me and Gong Zili. But those scandals were originally just it was written with added fuel and jealousy by the unscrupulous media. End of this chapter. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. I secretly got married to a super boss. Author, Dance Lightly. Chapter 2009. Chapter 2009. Is this how he talks to me? Chiao Mian was explaining to the old lady rather than explaining to MRSMO. She and Gong Zili did have some scandals. Shang Guanqing made a scene like that again just now. Although the old lady's attitude towards her has not changed and she seems to trust her, she will inevitably be shaken after hearing too many rumors. Chiao Mian didn't care what MRSMO thought, but she didn't want the old lady to misunderstand her. Unexpectedly, after hearing her explanation, MRSMO just sneered, "Really? The scandal is not fabricated out of thin air, right? It doesn't matter if it is spread once, if it is spread several times frequently, is there no problem at all?" MRSMO seemed a bit aggressive. Chiao Mian frowned and was about to speak when Mo Yesi took her hand, stood in front of her and said coldly, "Mom, my own wife, I trust her. You are questioning Mian like this, right? Do you want to force her to admit something?" "What do you mean I'm forcing her to admit it? I just want to find out what's going on. I'm doing this for your own good. If you were really doing it for my own good, you wouldn't treat Mian like this. You were dissatisfied with Mian's family background and were very picky about it. Mian's current family background is enough to match our Mo family, but you are still dissatisfied with her. I thought you would change your mind more or less now. It seems I was wrong. Since you can't even do the most basic thing of loving Wajiwo, you shouldn't have to worry about anything between Mian and me in the future." What do you mean?" MRSMO's face was full of anger. "You can understand it however you want." After Mo Yesi finished speaking, he turned around with Chiao Mian in hand and said to the old lady, "Grandma, Mian just came back today and hasn't had much rest. If you don't have anything else, I'll take her upstairs to have a rest." Go. The old lady waved her hand, "Let Mian have a good rest. Mian, let's go." Mo Yesi ignored MRSMO. After talking to the old lady, he led Chiao Mian upstairs. "Mom, look." MRSMO was so angry that she turned blue. Look at his attitude. I'm his mother. Is this how he talks to me? The old lady was too lazy to talk to her. It's not that you don't know how precious Si is to her wife. You said this about his wife in front of him. Do you think he can still have good things to say to you? Wenpei, please be careful, you would rather believe those nonsense words outside. And you don't believe in your son and daughter-in-law. If you continue like this, your two sons and daughter-in-law will become enemies with you. You just have to disturb this family so that there is no peace in it for you to be happy. Mom, you also know that I am doing it for ACI's good. What do you mean I believe in those nonsense words outside? Aren't you worried? What am I worried about? Don't you worry that she is really the same as the Gong family? Shut up. Before she could finish speaking, the old lady scolded her. I know what kind of person my granddaughter-in-law is. I don't want to hear these rumors coming out of your mouth again. Zhang uncle, I'm tired, help me go upstairs to rest. The old lady doesn't want to talk to MRSMO anymore. Because she felt that MRSMO was hopeless. Her daughter-in-law is not very smart. This is also her son's fault. After pampering her for so many years, her temper became what it is now. End of this chapter. I secretly got married to a super boss. Author, Dance Lightly. Chapter 2010. Chapter 2010. Why don't you ask me what I want from you? Soon, Uncle John helped the old lady go upstairs. Suddenly, MRSMO and a few maids were left in the living room. MRSMO was still sitting in her original position, her face looking ugly. She did not feel that she was wrong. On the contrary, she felt wronged. She wholeheartedly did her best for the good of her two sons, but her two sons were all complaining and dissatisfied with her because they were all for women. MRSMO felt particularly sad. No one can understand her. Asterisk. Arrived upstairs. Mo Yesi was afraid that Jiao Mian would be unhappy, so after closing the door, he immediately comforted his little wife. Mian, don't take mom's words seriously. Mo Yesi sighed softly and said gently, she doesn't know you, so she doubts you after reading those rumors. But grandma and I both believe you. I actually don't care about this matter. Jiao Mian smiled, stretched out her arms and hugged him, as long as my husband believes in me. Of course I believe you. Don't I still know what kind of person my wife is? Mo Yesi lowered his head and kissed her forehead gently. If there is no trust between husband and wife, then what's the point? Do you want to take a rest? I'll call you after dinner in the evening. Jiao Mian came here after sleeping at Bai's house, and she is not sleepy now. She shook her head and said, I'm not sleepy. Let me read the script for a while. Sister Xie sent me the movie script. I was so busy that I didn't have time to read it. There was a knock on the door. Mo Yesi raised his head and heard the maid outside the door say, Second young master, the old lady asked you to go to her room. Mo Yesi was stunned for a moment. After a few seconds, he turned to Jiao Mian and said, then you read the script. I'll go to grandma's place to have a look. Good. Asterisk. Grandma, look for me. Mo Yesi walked into the old lady's room and saw the old lady standing by the window watering the flowers. The pots of orchids on the windowsill were raised by the old lady herself. They are now blooming and there is a faint orchid fragrance in the room. Mo Yesi walked into the bedroom. The old lady was still watering the flowers in a leisurely manner, and she didn't say anything to ask him for. Mo Yesi was not in a hurry, so he just stood aside and watched the old lady watering the flowers. He also praised a few words, Grandma, you are really good at raising these pots of orchids. It's better to just raise flowers and plants when you have nothing to do. If you have more time, you have to be more meticulous in raising them, so they won't grow well. Not always. Mo Yesi doesn't flatter others. But sometimes he would pat his wife and grandma on their flattery. He smiled and said, some people are very careful in their cultivation, but they don't grow so well. It's not easy to grow bluegrass so well. After watering the flowers, the old lady slowly turned around, looked at her grandson, and asked with a smile, why don't you ask me what I want from you? Because I know that when grandma wants to say something, she will naturally say it. You boy. The old lady handed her a hand over, and Mo Yesi helped her slowly walk to the sofa and sit down. You are so smart, you must have guessed what I am looking for you. Then I will not beat around the bush with you. ACI, what is going on between you and that boy from the Gong family? How did it end up like this time? I think there must be a reason. Although you said it was for business reasons, the Mo family and Gong family have never encountered anything that required them to cancel all cooperation. End of this chapter.